Good morning, everyone. It's Mary Ellen Stites from Create With Me, and I'm here in the Creativity Nest for ME's 3C's. So today I'm actually not live with you. I've pre-recorded because I'm in New Orleans for a leadership event with Stampin' Up. But I'm so glad that you tuned in, and I do have a lovely card for you. So I am drinking my coffee. I hope you're drinking your coffee. Go ahead and comment. I know it's not the same as when you're on a live, but go ahead and comment. Let me know that you're watching. I still will do a random comment generator and send the card to someone that comments. And so you could take your chance and hopefully win this card. So I am working on, before I leave, I'm working on some cards for some special friends that I'm going to be meeting in New Orleans. I'm part of the Sales and Promotion Council with Stampin' Up. And I've just really enjoyed getting to know these lovely women, and we're getting together, so I'm doing a special swap for them, and I wanted to share that card with you. First, I'm going to drink a little coffee. Okay, so this card is a little more involved, but it's not a hard card. We had a demonstrator event about 2 weeks ago, and one of the demonstrators from Michigan, Susan LaCroix, had showed this fold, and I thought, oh, this is really lovely. So hers was a Christmas card, and mine is not a Christmas card. So I'm going to show you what supplies I use and show you all the measurements and the scoring. So get your pencil and paper ready. I will try to add that to my video, but I can't make any promises with the way everything's going. So I'm going to try. So, but just in case, go ahead and get your pencil and paper ready. You're going to want to have it for this. So let me take you down to my desk. Hold on just a minute. I want to get, hold on, I'm going to take it here for just a second. There. It's easier for me if I can see you and stamp at the same time. So here's the card. It's a fancy fold. It's bright, vibrant, very shimmery in person because I've used shimmery white paper for all my stamping. And then it's a fancy fold. So let me show you this angle. Not hard, not hard. This is a card that we did for my club this month, and I just wanted to share it with you too. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you, you can see these beautiful butterflies. So let me show you a few things in the catalog. So here is the Butterfly Brilliance. You'll find it on page 116 of the annual catalog. It's right here. It is one stamp. It is considered a background stamp, but each of these butterflies can be cut out individually or individually or as detailed. So I'll show you that in a minute. So the dies, let me find the dies for you. The dies are on page 169. They're down here in the corner. They're called the Brilliant Wings dies. So here they cut out the images. Here they cut out the detail, so you could overlay the detail onto the solid. And then there's a couple other tiny ones and a couple of different textures that you can also die cut out. So the dies are beautiful, just gorgeous. And then the last thing I wanted to show you in the catalog, because I know someone's going to ask, I had it bookmarked, is I'm using these beautiful embellishment. No, the paper that I used was Awash and Beauty, and I know that I'm very well known for forgetting the names of it. So the paper that I use, the Designer Series paper, is Awash and Beauty, and I'm using this first piece right here, and then this pink one that's on the back of this paper right here. So because I know I'm going to forget, I just thought I would bookmark that and show you. So let me bring in the pieces. Here's the colors that we're using. We're going to use Granny Apple Green, Polished Pink, and Tahitian Tide. And so that's the colors we have for our paper. So we have Granny Apple Green, Polished Pink, Tahitian Tide, and then all the white paper, other than this little strip, is Shimmery White. I really love using Shimmery White. Not only does it add a little shimmer, which you can't really see on camera, but it's got a little coating on it, so it's really nice to work with. And then here's that Awash and Beauty DSP, and I'll give you measurements. So our card base is the Granny Apple Green cardstock. It's 11 by 5.5, and I'm going to bring in my Simply scoreboard. We'll see how this works on camera. I'm going to bring in my Simply scoreboard and use my scoring tool. And I'm going to just score this along with you so that I'm not going too fast. So we're going to score it on the long side at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and watch the way I'm scoring because this was a question that came up recently in class. And then at 7 inches. So if you score at less than a 45-degree angle, you're usually not going to skip a chamber. When I first started using it, I would use my big ball and I would try like this, and I would always be skipping a chamber. I try to use the little tip that comes with it, and I go at least 45-degree angle or less. And usually I don't have a problem with skipping. So that's the scores: 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 on our Granny Apple Green card base. Then we need to bring in our polished pink cardstock. It is 6 inches by 4 1/2 inches, and on the 6-inch side, we're going to just score it in half at 3 inches. Okay, that's all the scoring that we have. So we'll set that scoreboard aside. And then we're going to bring our pieces back in and start doing a little bit of assembly. Just do an accordion fold. When you're doing something like this, you're going to want to make sure that you're using your bone folder to get a good burnished edge on all the folds. It just helps your card lay flatter. Okay, so now we can go ahead and attach our designer series paper. So let me bring in my stamp and seal. I'm going to start with this pink right here in front. And this designer series paper is cut at 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. And you're just going to alternate the designs, centering those in your scored folded area. So back to the pink floral, and then lastly the beautiful Awash and Beauty floral. Just brings out all that color. Okay. Now it's time to do a little bit of stamping and sponging. So we have these colors: Granny Apple Green, Polished Pink, and Tahitian Tide, and we're going to use blending brushes. And I'm going to start with my blending. Let's see, I'm going to bring in a little bit of scrap paper, and I'm going to start with my blending. So I'm going to take one of the smaller of the two. You're going to need 2 pieces of shimmer white paper that are 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. You need 2 of those. And then your cardstock that goes on the back is 5 by 3 1/2. And we don't need that one right now. We just need one here. We're going to bring in our blending brushes. Okay, and then I'm going to start down here at the bottom with my Tahitian Tide. And I'm just going to do my blending first. And the reason I'm doing it this way, you don't have to. Actually, on my first one that I showed you, I did not do it this way. But I found that sometimes the Memento ink will bleed just a little bit. So I'm doing my blending first. And I'm just going on an angle. And then I'm going to bring in my Granny Apple Green and blend that together. This way, when I stamp on it, I'm going to get a nice solid image, and then finish off with my polished pink. We really had a good time making this card in club, and I hope that the ladies will duplicate it. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of this Tahitian Tide. I'm going to come in from this corner and blend in there. Okay, that's nice. All right, so that's the only thing that I need this for right now. So I'm going to put these inks away because I'm classic. I don't know about you, but I am classic for putting my paper or my fingers back into my ink. So we don't want to do that today. So I've got my Butterfly Brilliance mounted on my Stamparatus. And I just find that since it's such a large stamp, it's easier to work with if it's on your Stamparatus. So I'm going to go ahead and put my paper down. Just, we can see where the images are. Okay, and then it's ready to ink. I don't need to put any magnets down. I want to get it good and inky, and if I can do it with one shot, then I don't have to worry if it picks up my paper, and that's my goal. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down, and I just like to use my palm and give it a good press. Normally I would stand up, and I recommend that you stand up because I'm on a little bit of a spongy surface, so I'm giving it a little extra go at it. Okay, beautiful. That's exactly what I was going for. So there's our butterfly. So, so pretty. And then while I've got this, I need to put, if you saw on my base card, I have a little butterfly here and a big butterfly here. So I can do it in different ways. I can either have it, I can try to do my butterfly down in this corner. Trying to think if I can come in from another side. I probably could. I'd be risking bumping my paper. So I'm just going to stick with what I have. And I want to do, on the larger of the two, I want to do my butterfly. And I think I will use my magnet here to hold my paper. I'm going to do this large butterfly right here down in the corner. Remember, there's two sides to Stampin' Up! Paper, so if I get it wrong, I have another go at it. But that looks pretty nice. And then on the smaller one, I'm going to use this little butterfly here. And I'm putting it on an angle because I kind of want that butterfly just off to the corner. Just a place for me to make some notes to my friends. I'm going to try. I don't want to catch that wing, so I noticed I was going to. It's nice having a little paper here because then I can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to try to avoid that wing there. Yeah, that looks good. And then stamp this butterfly here in the corner of my paper. Perfect. Okay, so now we're done with the Stamparatus, and we can set that aside. Close up our Memento ink. Then I'm going to bring my scrap paper in, and without re-inking my blending brushes, I'm going to take the Tahitian Tide, and whatever blue I have on there, I'm kind of pushing hard, but you can see it's transferring a little bit of that color. And then on this one, I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green. And all I'm doing is coloring over those butterflies just to give the corners just a little bit of color. Okay, just like that. So now it's time to do some assembly. So we'll bring our pieces in again. And we're going to mount the back piece on the Tahitian Tide right here. This piece of Tahitian Tide is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and this large one again is 5 by 3 1/2. Okay, and then that can be mounted to our card base right here. This is where we'll do most of our writing and signing our name. Excuse me. It's coffee class, so I'm allowed to do that. That's my rule. We'll fold our polished pink in half, and we're going to mount the front piece here. Now, one of the things you're going to want to remember is don't think of this as a regular card and mount it here. You're actually working backwards. So we're going to put our shimmer white butterfly piece right here on this side. So it's going to open the opposite, and then this piece goes on the other side. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and mount that. And how we're going to do it is we're going to, we want to have 3 sides equal. So I'm going to take some adhesive. I may go switch now to my Stampin' Seal Plus. Since this is a card with movement, and I know that it's going to get a little more use than a regular card, I'm going to use a little stronger adhesive. I'm going to center it so that it's equal on all 3 sides. Press down. I got it a little crooked. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here with a couple lines of adhesive. Let me get that one a little closer. Okay. And then I'm just going to close the card right on itself. Okay, so there's our card almost finished, but we need a little greeting. And on this one, you can see I said just a note, and then I have a little butterfly. I'm going to show you how I did that, or I'm going to tell you how I did that. But I brought in, I'm giving these to some new friends. So I got the set Hello Beautiful, and I took the words Hello Beautiful, and I'm going to bring in the Tahitian Tide. Yes, I was going to maybe change, but I think I'm going to stay with that. And I'm going to use the words Hello Beautiful. And I'm going to stamp them right here on the end. And I left my strip long, and I can just trim that as needed because it's going to vary on where you put your card on here. So you just want to keep it long. And I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on this. And I'm going to just put my greeting right here all the way across. And then I'm going to take my snips and trim it. Okay, now you can take a piece of vellum, and then I changed inks. Instead of using my Memento ink, I went to StazOn ink, and I stamped my butterflies with my Stamparatus on a piece of vellum and then cut them all out. So I just had a big pile of them, and so I picked this medium size one, and I'm going to take a couple. First I'm going to kind of press it in half a little, and then I'm going to take my mini glue dots, and I want a couple mini glue dots right here on my butterfly, right there in the middle. And because I have my words, I have to kind of watch my placement. I don't want to go past here, but I don't want to cover my words up. So I'm going to kind of press that one down just a little. I think because my butterfly can pop up a little bit, I can put it up here just a little bit. You'll see the difference. If I have the smaller one, then I can move it down just a little bit. My words might have been just closer to the edge here. And then lastly, I'm going to finish with the glossy dots assortment. And I'm going to just take my Take Your Pick tool and get some of my putty out. I really like my Take Your Pick tool. And then once I get a little bit out, I back it off. And then I'm just going to add some of these glossy dot assortments right here to my card, just like that. And I usually use a rule of odds, so usually it's 3 or 5. And there's the card. So it didn't take very long. Beautiful, beautiful cards. I will try to get the measurements in there. I do have a tutorial I can try to post. If you really want it, just message me and I'll try to get that to you. I thank you so much for watching. I'm going to give you my August host code. That is what I'm using right now for August orders, so that when you place an order with me using that host code, then I send you some 6 tutorials in your inbox for you to duplicate using stamp sets that you have at home. So please use that code when you're placing your order. I appreciate it. And you guys have a great day. And I'll be back here next week on Monday for Christmas card class in person. There's still room, so please sign up. You can find it on Create With Me Facebook page. Everybody have a great day. Bye.